please welcome to the stages Wilson, Bethel, and Charlie Cox.
So you guys are the hardcore Sunday night fans. We know we've got only the hardcore fans here right now.
Thank you for being here at San Francisco. Like, have you been to the city many times before?
I grew up partly here. I went to high school just across the bridge in Marin.
Marin County! Where are you at?
So yeah, I've spent a lot of time up here.
What about you, Charlie? Have you spent a lot of time here?
One of my first trips to America, actually, I came here, and you know how you get your phone now, like, gives you memories? Mm-hmm. It popped up, like, a couple of days ago, actually, and there's this picture of me. There's a picture of me in San Francisco, and I have hair down to here. And it's like, and I looked, I was like, I forgot I grew up in the 70s.
Do you miss the long hair? Do you ever look back in that time and go, God, could I do it again?
I think I've overaged it.
Yeah.
I think it's a young
guy.
man's game, or a much older man's game. Maybe in my 60s I can do it.
Yeah, surf bra. Just feel like, yeah, you know, man, I've seen some stuff. I like that. Thanksgiving. Were you here for Thanksgiving, Charlie? And what did you do for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I was at home. I live on the East Coast.
Yes.
So yeah, gave thanks, ate food. I'm a big leftovers fan.
Yeah.
I had leftovers I think 4 or 5 times.
What did you go up to for Thanksgiving?
My mom still lives up here. She lives in the East Bay now. So yeah, I was hanging tough, man. Just in the area and visiting a lot of old friends. One of my best friends from high school is here tonight. We had dinner at his house. His daughter's here. So yeah, repping.
Excellent. I've still not had a Thanksgiving in America. I was eating a bagel in a hotel room on Thursday night.
That's a standard American Thanksgiving dinner, right there.
Yes. I said this earlier in a panel. I was just in my pants eating a bagel, looking out into the middle distance, like, what am I doing with my life? I'm 41. I'm here. I've made it. Okay, let's get straight into it and talk about Born Again. I'm not going to ask too many questions about Born Again because I know you won't be able to say too much, but how excited are you to just release this into the world now?
Like, have you ever been on like an 8-hour road trip and for whatever reason you can't stop to go pee the entire time, and the whole time you know that toilet is on the other end?
Yes.
And you get out of the car and you're almost... Anyway, that's about where I'm at.
Can you top that, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. The excitement is dribbling down my leg, let me put it that way.
So you're dribbling, and are you constipated?
I mean, it's bonkers, isn't it? Because it's been so many years since we released any Daredevil content. I'm really excited about it, and by the time when we release it March 4th, by then we'll already be shooting season 2. So it's just a gift that keeps on giving. It's amazing.
I think it must be quite a special thing, you guys tell me, to spend time with characters that are longer than just one movie or one episode or say one season, to kind of go back to a character. How does that feel for you? Does that character change for you as the storyteller when you're going back over and over and over again?
So can you just say the last bit again?
Sorry. Yeah. Does the character...
This is what happens when you've been with a character too long, is that the dementia starts setting in. We can't process things the same way.
I was going to say, is it my accent? But you don't have an excuse.
No, it's not the accent.
No, I was going to say, does that character change for you over time? Do you feel differently about that character when you keep going back to it and playing him again and again?
Well... when you play a character, I mean, I've been playing him over 10 years, he gets older, which is disconcerting. No one warned me about that. It is weird. It's so weird. It's such it's so uncommon in this profession. I think it's very rare that you play, other than like people, you know, actors who do like years and years and years on a soap or something. It's very rare that you'll play a character for as long as I've been playing this character. What's weird about it is in 2018 when the show was cancelled, I suddenly was like, I had like a breaking up period, like a mourning period, you know, where I was like, oh wow, because we thought we were going to do a season 4, and then that didn't happen, and it kind of overnight we got a phone call that was like, we're done, it's finished, and it was quite shocking to think, oh wow, I'm not going to be that character again, I'm not going to, you know, I don't know what the word is, but it felt like a breakup, a little bit, you know, in a kind of a weird way. And then, like all breakups, obviously we got back together. And then so. And
did it feel weird? Did it feel weird?
I had a lot of questions, you know. I want to know what.
They had both been with other people, so things were like spicier in a way. But
you've changed.
But now, you know, we're making the show again, and you know, it's such a, as I said, it's like it's such a wonderful gift, and I love it so much. And but now I'm aware that there will presumably come a time where it really does stop happening, and you know, it's going to be, the longer it goes on, the harder it will be to let go of, you know.
Yeah.
But I was when we were at New York Comic Con, I was chatting to a couple of the Daredevil writers, Daredevil team, comic team, and they're getting ready to release a Daredevil series, a comic that takes place where Matt Murdock is in his 60s. So I was like, oh, okay, great. Great. So we got some time.
You've got a job till the end of time, my friend. You're going to be fine. What about you, Wilson, going back in? As an actor, do you forget certain things about the character, or do you have to brush up? Like, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Charlie sort of alluded to it, but I think one of the things that's interesting is, I mean, I guess maybe it's different on like a sitcom or something like that, but if you're on a show for over a period of time, you and the character are aging together sort of in real time, and if the show is well written and the writers are sort of responding to that reality transpiring, the wrinkles, the gray hair, etc., then in theory...
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Timeless Charlie Cox, ladies and gentlemen. Then in theory, the character is evolving with you, in a way, whether or not the show is on air. So there's kind of like this funny thing, stepping back after 5 years, where Born Again will pick up with that amount of time having transpired. Yeah. It's not like the show doesn't pick up the day after we last saw them. It picks up 5 years later. And so in theory, these are characters who have all lived 5 years of life, and all of the twists and turns that can take in the meantime. So whether or not even those stories are necessarily on screen, there's just that little extra bit of lived life in there, which I think is, as an actor, it gives you an opportunity to bring whatever your own journey has been in that time, and it's sort of, you know, we get a little bit longer in the tooth and a little, you know.
Yes.
In theory.
I mean, you've mentioned the getting older aspect, and this is it's very physical. These are physical roles, you know. When I turned 40 last year, now 41, I was like, my body's not gonna change, and I injured myself immediately doing a deadlift. And this is the ghost of Christmas future, my friends. And it's hard. Like, you can't train as hard, or it's different. But for you guys, it's part of your job. How do you?
Well, I think what fans should really come to look forward to in Born Again is much slower fight sequences. And they'll be riveting in their own ways. There's like talking in between each punch. And,
Daredevil has a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Slow punch, like, oh, I hear the kettle boiling. One second. Like, would you guys watch that OAP Daredevil vibes?
But you know, there's a lot of like conflict mediation that happens. Sure, you don't want to just talk this out.
I'm cold. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about the physicality of things. Did you find it hard going back into that and going, right, here we go again?
Yeah, and initially I didn't prepare for it well enough, and significantly injured my shoulder to the point where I had to have surgery on it. You know, but you know, the great byproduct of that is since that surgery and having to really kind of slow down and build back up from it. Like I put so much more emphasis on mobility now than I ever did before.
Yeah.
And I won't train in the gym without doing probably a 20 or 30 minute stretch, you know, and just concentrate way more on form over like repetitions, you know. And that has been amazing for my body. Like I've really felt it. Actually genuinely, because of that, I do feel like my body's in better shape than it was, you know, like because I'm just more conscious of the things that when you're younger you brush aside and don't pay attention to, and so that's actually been a wonderful thing that's come out of it, you know.
So I was thinking this other day, like we just do not look after ourselves in our 20s and 30s, and now I'm like, no, I have to be in bed by 9 o'clock. And I need to be up by 6 a.m. I need to be lying down by 9 o'clock. Again, Ghost of Christmas Future. I am the old cat lady. I'm the weird old cat lady at the panel. So, I wanted to ask about hobbies or talents.
Hard transition.
Hard transition. I was thinking of a segue, you know, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like hobbies and talents. Being on set, you know, you get to learn. Of course, there's the fight sequences and things like that, and learning, you know, the fitness and the fighting. But are there any hobbies or talents that you took away from your time filming that you use in your daily life?
Oh wow! Specifically from Daredevil.
Let's just open it up to any film or TV show that you've done.
Well, I've always brought games to sets.
Like what kind of, like as in video games?
No. Like card games or board games or dice games or puzzles. And I've always really enjoyed like having, you know, a community with the actors or whoever wants to get involved, playing cards. We actually used to, Wilson and I, I've got a really funny video of it as well. we played this game where, you know, we put a bucket at the, you know, where that TV is, and we both had a deck of cards, and we were trying to flick cards into the bucket, and whoever got the least in had to pick them up. And so it was in season 3, I've got this video of Wilson crawling around in the Daredevil costume, picking up these cards. But like,
the irony being that Bullseye couldn't sink a single card in the bucket.
And so I you know, over the years I've really enjoyed, like, I love games, and I play games with my kids all the time. But you know, I did this Disney film years ago called Casanova, and we were literally, whenever the camera wasn't rolling, we were playing this game Perudo, which is a dice game. I think some people in America call it Lies Dice, which was really fun. I did a movie, a version of Moby Dick, and we were playing, I can't say the name of it, it's actually really rude, but it's a card game that's got a very rude name, and we were playing it like obsessively. On She-Hulk, they had, Tatiana had a miniature table tennis table, so that was really fun. In season 3 of Daredevil as well, there was this game, I was introduced to this game, Exploding Kittens.
Yes, I have that. Yeah.
Mega.
It's so good, right?
Yeah, it's great. So no, that one thing I've always taken from my sets. And Deborah Wall, who plays Karen, is the game's master. She knows every. I mean, I text. I text her actually and said, "Can you give me a couple of board game recommendations for this Christmas for the kids?" You know, because she knows games that you would never have heard of. You know?
She's into D&D.
Big time. And she actually did. She ran a game that I did an episode of.
Amazing.
Which was really fun. Yeah.
Have you tried your hand at D&D yet?
No, I would love to. You know, somebody invite me to a game already. Jeez.
Someone invite any D&D fans?
All right.
I think you're invited.
I would love to. I just want to orc it up, man.
Never heard that phrase. Love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it exists.
Can we have that on a t-shirt? Orc it up.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
or just on your hat. What about you, Wilson? In terms of like things you've taken away from your roles that you might use in daily life?
You would have thought I would have used the entirety of Charlie's response time to come up with my own response, but I was not planning ahead.
A lot of humility.
Yeah,
from the losses.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing I learned. Man, I think I'm gonna have to. I almost feel like I have to pass on this one. Yeah.
Well, we recommend you get better at
Thank
throwing
you.
things in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like that's the big thing that you need to practice.
Yeah.
Wilson,
I learned. I will say that when we were doing Daredevil, I learned how to throw cards. So the stunt team. Yeah, well, it might have been after that we played that game that I realized I really had to brush up. Exactly. That was the wake up call for me. But no, the stunt team on Daredevil was incredible, and they're adapting when a new character comes on to figuring out how what this character's specialties are, obviously, and so when Bullseye comes onto the scene, obviously all these stunt guys who maybe previously did not have any experience hucking things around for no good reason, suddenly all trained themselves, because they're all incredibly physically adept people, to become like master card throwers. And these guys got so good that with like maybe a few weeks training, they could throw a playing card through a refrigerator box like 30 feet away. It was like crazy, and I never got to be able to do that, but I watched it happen.
And it's okay. You've got time. You've got time on set. That's fine. I wanted to ask about the fact that you're both dads. Has that changed your view of the roles you play, or acting in general, being dads and like fatherhood?
It's made me want to go into a line of work that's much safer.
That's fair. What does your little one think of what their dad does?
I don't know. She's too little, I think, to kind of to know yet. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think at some point it'll be an interesting kind of conversation that what I do as an adult, 40-something-year-old man. Is basically just make believe, but which is cool. I think that's a cool conversation to have. But it's definitely probably different from what a lot of people is kind of. I don't even know what I'm saying. Charlie, take it over.
Charlie, what about you? Being dad?
Over Thanksgiving, my children watched a movie that I've done, and at one point, I looked over at them towards the end, and my son was crying. He's only little; he's only 4, but he was really invested in the movie, and he was like really upset because it has a sad moment in it with an animal, and it was I found it really touching that he was moved by it and stuff. I also then did try to show them Stardust, and after 20. Well, exactly. That's what I was hoping for. But after 25 minutes, they were like, "Dad, this is boring. Can we watch something else?"
One day.
One day.
I'm going to play a game with you in a second, then we'll go to fan questions. But Wilson, you're directing a movie. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's in the works.
It's in the works. Can
Yes.
you say anything about it at all?
Who's in it?
This guy named Charlie Cox. We're in early stages. In fact, not sure we can.
Where's a
afford
pen?
to, but-
Where's a pen?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it at this stage, but yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Well, let me ask you this. Doing the directing, has that changed your view of acting, like on the other side of the lens?
Yes. Yes and no. I mean, in some ways, I think it's all of the same skills that you use as an actor, or a lot of them, that are then just kind of refined in terms of maybe the delivery mechanism, because it's all the language is the same in terms of performance, and then you're just figuring out how to deliver that to other actors besides yourself. But I've been doing this for a long time, and so I definitely feel confident in terms of how to tell a story, which is, you know, whether you're doing that as an actor or a director or a writer, the idea is the same, you know, and sort of you have to have a lot of clarity of vision of who your characters are. And I think the main difference as a director is that instead of as an actor, you have the clarity of vision as that one character. As a director, as a writer, you have to have the clarity of vision for the whole ensemble of characters. But that's fun, you know.
Well, good luck with
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, good luck with it. You guys excited about that one? Yes. Okay. We are going to play a wee game. It's called This or That Showdown. Okay, so I'm just going to give you 2 options and you just don't think about it, just say which one you prefer. Okay. Good guy or bad guy?
Bad guy.
Okay, I now get the game.
You're a panel, Charlie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Everyone say hi,
I didn't realize
Charlie.
it had to be so quick. But we could do both. We could both answer for both.
Yes,
of them.
please.
Okay.
Good guy or bad guy?
Good guy.
Okay, got it. What about you guys? Shout it out.
Yeah. Wow.
Bad guy.
That was overwhelming. I'll take you all on.
Red suit Daredevil or black suit Daredevil?
Red suit.
Black suit.
Shout it out. I just heard someone go, wow! That one, yes. Okay, secret identity or public hero?
Secret identity.
Yes. What about you guys? Secret! Got it. Okay, romance or action?
Action.
Romance.
Oh, ooh.
That's long-haired Charlie talking.
I love that. Why did you say romance? I wonder.
Because that is when that is written well. That's the stuff that I really love to perform and work on, and you know, the action is so fun.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely bring so much to it in terms of storytelling and character and all those things. But the nuances of feeling around 2 people, you know, as the dynamic changes and the intrigue is increased, and you have to figure out how to pitch a scene. You know, the stuff I had with Deborah. You know, we kiss in the middle of season 2, but it's hinted at episode 1 of season 1. The Karen Matt story, and so that trying to pitch that and trying to play with it appropriately, and you know, that's part of, I think, one of the great parts of our craft, what we do, you know, and that's you know, I remember like in season 1, towards the end of season 1, you know, directors were coming in episodically. We did 13 episodes, so a director has come in to do episode 10. They haven't been able to see the first 9 episodes. They haven't had time to read 11, 12, and 13. So they are trying to work with the information that they have, and they often have sometimes less information than we have, because I've shot every episode, I know, right? So they're saying, right, well, we want you and Deborah to, to have a lingering look at each other. And, you know, part of my job is to be like, totally, we can do that. Just so you know, we did it in 6, we did it in 8. It's definitely going to happen in 13, so maybe we can find something different. Maybe there's a hand touch, or maybe there's something else that we can do, or you know what I mean? Just plotting that journey is fascinating.
I love that. Do you have a favourite romantic movie that you like to watch, or that has inspired you, or you just enjoy?
Yeah, loads.
Oh, really?
I love rom-com, and I actually did a rom-com this year for the first time.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you love it. So you have to love it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for a really great rom-com. I think When Harry Met Sally is one of the greatest movies ever made. I think Shakespeare in Love is tremendous, you know, and so funny, I love that stuff.
And do you have a favourite action movie, Wilson?
I mean, probably Terminator 2. I just think that's probably one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, I'm like high-fiving you from afar. Oh my god, I love that. I love an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah, but I mean, I was deep in the basically any Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know where that came from.
I'm almost doing that as a Schwarzenegger.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
It's not bad.
Actually, it's really good. Oh, same.
But you know, just to piggyback on that, like I would argue that like a movie, one of my favorite movies, The Matrix. One of the reasons that movie, which is obviously a very high in action, one of the reasons that movie works is because the chemistry between Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss is extraordinary. You know,
but it was sorely lacking in Arnold.
Oh my god, I love this so much. I mentioned Demolition Man on a panel earlier, and I'm just going to say, for action and romance, why not? Demolition Man, think about it, just think about it. Okay, hallway fights or rooftop brawl?
I mean, hallway fights, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm brutal in a hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we have seen. Okay, training montage or emotional flashback?
Training montage.
Yes, training montage. Or emotional flashback.
Look, the first 10 minutes of Up is some of the greatest footage of any, you know what I mean? What are we learning? We're learning that I'm a real softie, aren't we? This is not good.
Yes.
This is not good for my brand.
But, I mean, you get a pass on
I cried in the first 10 minutes of Up. 100%. I was blubbering.
Who else here cried like a tiny child? Yes. Oh my god, I was destroyed.
But
that movie.
But having said that, when Rocky starts training, you know.
Did you cry?
Probably. But the training montage, you know, you know, it's
So
like
good.
amazing.
Oh my god, so good. Okay, superhero team or solo mission?
Solo mission.
I'm into a superhero team.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tea, come on, say tea.
Yeah, I mean, I love coffee, but I've recently started trying to drink more tea.
I'm going to ask you this, Charlie, as a Brit abroad. When I'm in hotel rooms in America, there's no bloody kettle. Like, it's this coffee machine crap.
Yeah, or
everything tastes like coffee.
Or you order tea and they bring hot milk.
Yeah.
Or a slice of lemon. Like, what?
Are we moving on to the next question?
What?
I am so sorry. This is just my annoyance with covered tea. So anyway, finally, stuffing or mashed potatoes?
Mashed potato.
Yeah, mashed potatoes for sure.
What about you guys? Mashed potatoes! Love it. Round of applause for the first part of this panel. I just want to do a podcast where we moan about coffee or tea. I think that's my new...
I'm sure that would be a smashing success.
Like, I've made it, Mum and Dad. Okay, let's hand it over to you, lovely lot. There is a mic here. There is a mic here. Please be mindful of your fellow fans. And when I point to you, it is your turn. Let's start over here. And please, can we keep it to one question each? One question. Hello, my friend.
Yes, I love your work, especially in Daredevil Season 3. What was your favorite scene to shoot for both of you?
Favorite scene to shoot for both of you?
Mine was the fight scene in the bulletin. I still go back and watch that scene because I think that is truly one of the coolest fight scenes, in the Marvel world.
Biased.
But
What about you?
The prison fight for me was personally a big deal because it was, you know, like I was able to do so much of it and had worked so hard to get there, and it was such a cool achievement. It was so taxing to do. You know, we had to.
That was like you did 2 takes of that or something.
Well, we did. I think we did a day. We took 2 days off. We took a day off rehearsing at the studio. We had a day off rehearsing at the prison. No, like that's a big deal for a film company to take those. You know, we didn't turn over. We didn't shoot any footage those 2 days. And then we had a 3rd day at the prison to film it, and I think we did 3 complete takes, and then a lot of full starts, like 7 or 8, where something went wrong halfway through. But it is a true one-er, you know, it's one take, and so it was such a cool feeling when we got it, and everyone was like cheering and running through the corridors, and then we all went and watched it back to make sure it worked, and it was cool.
Thank you for your question.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for the question. Thank you. Let's hand it over here. Name and question, please.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Wilson. I'm Nate.
Hey, Nate. Hi, Nate.
Claire, you crushed it all weekend.
Thank you.
Amazing moderating.
Wow, what a classy act you are. Well said.
It's my one fan. He comes to every show.
How much you paying?
Undisclosed. Thank you.
Just in black tea.
You know, totally. Here's my coffee tasting tea for you. Yes, go on. What's your question?
So, the legacy of Daredevil is rooted in you get knocked down, you get back up, right? And Claire, you as well. You can please answer this. When in your career have you been knocked down and maybe not inspired to get back up, but you got back up, and what did you achieve after you got back up?
So it's a great question. I had a very quick start to my career, straight, even before I went to drama school and trained. I had done a couple of movies, and then I actually left drama school early to do a movie, and I was working constantly, back to back, and it was like the first 5, 6, 7 years of my career were incredibly fortunate and very busy. And then, for whatever reason, it just slowed up. I did Stardust, which at the time was a really big budget, Paramount film. I think it was the biggest budget movie the UK had ever made at the time, but it didn't perform particularly well in the box office, despite being kind of well reviewed. And I don't know whether that was anything to do with it, but after that I couldn't get hired. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't find the right job, and there was months and months and months. And I had to. I was trying to get work in LA, and I had to leave because I ran out of cash. I needed to be able to go home just so I could get a waitering job again, which was weird, having been on billboards and stuff. And
what?
Yeah. And so I had to kind of go back and start again. And then, it was so long. I couldn't get anything. And then
Empire, right?
Well, my agent called me and they said, look, there is a very small part on a TV show. Mm-hmm. They're going to guarantee you 3 episodes, but we don't even know how big the scenes are going to be. And I don't know if you're interested, but you'd have to fly out and audition for it, and which again, it sounds normal, but at the time, having been the lead of a big movie, to then have to go and audition for a 2 or 3 scene part in a TV show was, and the pay, they were going to pay me nothing. You know what I mean? It was really felt like starting again from scratch. At that point, I was just so grateful to have an opportunity and to work. And then I got really lucky that I got out there. I really worked hard on this character and the accent and stuff, and they liked the character, and then they wrote me in 5 episodes, and then they wrote me in 8 episodes, and then I did 20 episodes of that show. And it was predominantly a couple of scenes from that show that got me Daredevil.
Yeah.
But that was a real start from scratch again moment, and lots of very fortunate to have that another opportunity, but it's character building.
Wow.
Wilson, do you have a start again story?
I feel like there've been so many. Where do I even begin all the time? Probably the hardest hit I took was I came very close to being cast as Captain America, and this was when I was in my mid-20s, and went through multiple rounds of screen testing, and
How'd the suit feel?
the suit felt incredible. Yeah, and
You put it on?
Oh yeah.
Do you have pictures?
And there was all these things that were happening that made me feel like I was getting the part at the time, and it was incredible. And then I remember just my agent called me one day and they're like, no, actually they offered it to Chris Evans or whatever, and it was just it was the biggest. It was the biggest gut punch I think I had. I still to this day, I had nightmares about it for years afterward. But then in hindsight, I thought, who wants to be rich and famous? So, I just felt no. So yeah, I don't know. But then I've managed to have a different kind of career that I'm also really proud of. And the career that I've had has also felt in some ways much better suited to who I am, which is like I've always viewed myself as an underdog, and if I were to have been Captain America, that would have just been too, no, that's not me, man. I gotta be scrapping it out. So I am incredibly grateful for, in some ways, not having gotten that role and having had to. I went, straight from that to going, same deal. I was back to waiting tables at the Chateau Marmont, and and working. I was working on a soap opera during the day and waiting tables at night, and then the career slowly built from there, as opposed to becoming a giant, massive, legendary international success overnight.
You would have been good as well. You would have been good.
No small parts, right?
That's right.
Did you want me to? I don't want to.
Yeah, please, Claire.
Because you said, I'm going to keep it really short so we can get. I spent 22 years in London working, and I was with my ex-husband for 20 years, and that ended. And when that ended, it was incredibly hard, and then spent 2 years trying to rebuild. You lose friends, everything falls away, work was falling away, everything. And then the hardest thing I had to do is go, who am I now at this age? And came to America, and the last year has been the most incredibly hardest year, and fun, but very hard year, and it's still a very tough slog, but I am very, sorry, pardon my French, fucking happy to be here.
Let's give it up for Claire, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your question. Right, enough of that soppy shite, as my mum would say. Right, on to the next question. Hello, my love, what's your name and question?
My name is Danielle. So I feel like both of you have had really kind of genre-defying careers in that you can be plopped into anything and it works. I mean, you mentioned soap opera. You were on Young and the Restless for a while. I know because my mom watches it. But you also, Heart of Dixie, Generation Kill, and then you, Boardwalk Empire, to Stardust, to now Daredevil. Is there a genre that you dream of one day either, starring in, or Wilson, you're starting to direct, that you want to direct something for, or anything like that? Like, is there something you haven't done that you really kind of want to dip your toe into?
This year I've been doing a little bit of comedy. So I did this rom-com earlier in the year, and then I've just finished a few episodes of this new FX comedy that's coming out next year. A half-hour comedy, I've wanted to do that. The thing that got me into acting was I did a bit of comedy theatre. I caught the bug when I was 16 or 17, and that was being funny on stage. What's really interesting is it's a slightly different skill set, and I'm not as used to it as others are, and some of the people I've just been working with, much younger than me, much newer in the industry, but they've been doing comedy. So it was really incredible, but overwhelming to be on set and learning from these 20-year-olds in a craft that I've been in for almost 20 plus years. So it's fun. I found it nerve-wracking. It was quite scary. Trying to, I don't know what the expression would be, but try my hand at something a bit different.
What about you, Wilson?
Honestly, I would love to do voice acting. I've never really I love cartoons, and I love cartoon characterizations, and I love doing voices. Maybe much to the chagrin of my wife. But I think that would just be so much fun to do a kid's show cartoon where you can just be a big, crazy, silly. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that would be a blast. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question. Round of applause. Thank you. Hello, my love. You can move the mic a little bit. Yeah, that's it. What's your name and question?
Rita, and my question is for both of you. As a fans, what can we do for somebody to bring Daredevil to the big screen? It's one of my dreams.
You can buy a really big screen, and you can watch the show on that screen.
I watch it all over again, and I can't wait to watch again. the new Born Again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your question, my dear. Over to this side. Hello there, friend. Name and question.
Hi, Claire. Hey, Charlie and Wilson. My name's Chris from Sunnyvale, California. Yay area. But my question for you two is, across your journey as an artist, from Daredevil season 1 to The Defenders and to season 3, which specific scene or moment from all the episodes that you filmed resonates with you most? And what is it about that moment that connects with you personally?
What resonated with you and what's connected personally?
I mean, this is, I think, well, I have less to draw from here, but I will say that the moment in season 3 where, sort of fresh off a psychotic binge, Dex starts vacuuming his apartment feels like a complete distillation of my spirit. Where the only way to make sense of a chaotic world is to start cleaning.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I get stressed, I'm just like vacuuming, I'm dusting, I'm cleaning.
Yes, let's do it. So we'll fucking matching Swiffer it, my man.
What about you? And also, that was very comforting to hear that. I thought I was the only one.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right, okay, good. What about you, Charlie? I know there's a lot, probably a lot.
Okay, I'm just gonna pick one. So there's a scene in The Defenders. I have no idea. It's towards the end. It's like episode 7 or something. It might even be the final episode. I'm not sure. But there's a scene where I'm not quite sure this answers your question, but it's like, this is what came to my mind. There's a scene where I wake up in the police station and I realize that Danny Rand's been taken and Stick's dead and all of these things, and because of the nature of that show and because of all the characters in it, we were all, what Marco Ramirez did that was amazing when he wrote that show, but was really challenging was how do you service all of these characters, all of whom have got all this history, who've all had their own standalone shows, put them all together and tell a story, and that's a really tough job for a writer, and so we're trying to find a way to, and you can't just add more words because you've limited amount of time, right? So we were just trying to find a way to hit all these points very quickly, and it was a cool moment for me. I just felt like it was a cool moment because entering the day I was like, I don't know how to achieve this. I don't know how to make this scene work, and also kind of respect the previous material that we've had. And we did. We found a way, and I ended up being very proud of that scene and managing to figure out a way. Even I learned in that moment about acting something that I don't think I'd really appreciated is how much you can convey without a single word, with just a small look in a moment. You can do much more than you think you can. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but it was.
I love it. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you so much. Hello, friend. Name and question. Oh, here we go. Oh, hey. Name and question.
Hi, my name is Rick, and I heard you mention that you grew up in the Marin County area. I just want to say, my friends and I here tonight, we just graduated from Dominican University of California about 2 weeks ago.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you. So I appreciate hearing that you're also close from around here as well. I guess my question for you guys is, if you had to pick a character from the opposite end of the superhero fandom, as in from DC Comics, if you had to pick a character you wanted to play either via voice or even live action performance, which one would you think you'd want to play?
Oh.
I know, it's tough.
Yeah, like you've stumped them. Okay, Wilson, I'm sorry to pick on you first. What are you thinking? And you can voice the character as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes it any easier. Yeah, true. Do you have an answer to this?
Charlie?
I wouldn't want to take it on based on the actors you have in the past because they're so brilliant. But I always think like the Joker would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you could find a way to do something to, you know, I mean, Heath Ledger for me, like, just nailed that part, obviously. But yeah, that would be, if you could find a new take on it in some way, that would be cool.
I think a Ninja Turtle.
I gotta ask, which one?
I mean, probably Michelangelo. I mean, he's a party dude, so yeah, I think I'm with Michelangelo.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, friend. Name and question.
My name is Tyler. I was wondering, will there be a one-take hallway fight in Born Again?
You know they can't answer.
Look at me. There's some stuff there that scratches those itches.
Thank you.
You will not be itchy. That's what they're saying.
We'll also see a doctor for that itch.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. Round of applause. Come on. Thank you. Hello, my dear.
Hi, I'm Sierra. So a couple years ago, my mom got us, my whole family, just absolutely hooked on the Daredevil show. And something we always talk about is those long take fight sequences that run for a long time with very few or no cuts. And I was wondering, what's it like filming those?
So they're all different, that's really, like, the craft of those things is, like, really, really fun. So just to give, I don't want to, I guess, talk about this for hours. I won't. But, like, for example, there's a hallway scene in season 2, which is kind of a fake one-er. So it plays as a one-er, but actually they actually stitch the cuts together. And the way that you do that is, as the camera is moving, whenever there's a stitch that's going to take place, where you put one piece and you kind of morph it together with another piece of footage, you have the whole camera has to be black for a second. So so built into the sequence, the camera has to move either past a kind of a black wall or over the back of someone's black jersey or something like that. You just need to have a screen that it doesn't have to be black, I don't think. It has to be exactly the same color so that you can seamlessly put two pieces of footage together. It's called stitching. So that's really fun because the technical side of that scene is making sure that every few beats there is a moment where you could stitch it together. And then the scene plays as a one-er, so it has this, you still get the gratification of that feeling of like momentum and stuff that you get from a one-er. And then there's been other one-ers like the episode 2 season 1 and episode 5 season 3, which is a true one-er where, you know, we really did have to just rehearse it until we got it right, and film it until we got it right, you know. And we did, it was earlier on, there was one of the first takes that day where we did the scene in the prison. Like the second take was really good, and there was this weird moment afterwards where we were like, oh, I think we did it, and we went back and watched it and it was really good, but it wasn't perfect, and we were like, well, what do we do now, because we could spend 2 days trying to get this right again. But the consensus was we should try and get it better, and we did.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great question.
Now we are running out of time, however this is the last day of Fan Expo. Can we do a quick fire, do you think, and try and get through as many as possible? Because I want all of you to ask a question. So the deal is quick fire, make it nice and short, one question each, and then you guys rapid
We'll
fire.
take it in turns.
Yeah, let's do that. Over here, name and question.
Hi, I'm Ray. Wilson, can you recommend a good restaurant in the East Bay?
Oh man, put on the spot. The truth is, I didn't grow up in the East Bay. My mom moved out there after the fact, so the East Bay is not home to me.
So Marin?
In Marin, it's been a long time since I've lived there. I've worked at a lot of restaurants in Marin.
So his mum's house.
Yeah, bingo.
Thank you. Quick fire. Hello there.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. Nice to meet you. Last time I think I saw you guys, Charlie, your costume was gone, and Wilson, you were wearing Charlie's costume. Yeah. I know you guys can't say too much, but for Born Again, are you guys excited to have your own costumes again?
Shit, yeah.
Thank you. Next up, name and question.
Hi, I'm Marianne. Before you got your roles as Daredevil and Bullseye, did you ever look at the character and said, I want to play that character?
I didn't even know about him. I'd never heard of him. I genuinely, when you said Daredevil, I thought you were like talking about a noun, like a mountaineer or a rock climber or like someone who jumps through fiery hoops on a motorcycle. That's what I thought Daredevil was.
Same answer, yeah. Didn't know bullseye was a thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, name and question.
Hi, my name is Tony, and I was just wondering, Charlie, if obviously the 5 years has passed between what happened in Daredevil, and I was just wondering what you think happened or progressed after those 5 years. Do you think that Matt got a better relationship with his mother after he just found out that his mom was the nun that she didn't tell him?
Oh man.
Quick fire?
The answer is no.
Yeah. I think Matt's relationship with his mother is complicated. Actually, there's someone here today who dressed up. There she is. She's the first person I've ever seen cosplay as Maggie. I think Matt probably has quite a few mummy issues.
Thank you very much. Next up, name and question.
Hi, I'm Doug, and my question is, what was the biggest challenge getting into the mindset of your respective characters on Daredevil?
Weirdly, no challenge at all.
Do you want to answer real quick? Or?
No.
Thank you, my friend.
Very much.
Next up, hello.
Hi, I'm Ivan. I was wondering, do you think we'll be getting Defenders Season 2 anytime soon?
I have no idea. So sorry.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up, hello.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I was wondering what your favorite memory was during the production of Daredevil.
Of the most recent one? Or the original series?
Any.
Okay.
You go first. You go.
On the last day of filming of the season we just completed, Frank Miller came to set. And I was filming with John Bernthal. And so there's me in the Daredevil costume, John in the Punisher costume, and we're chatting with Frank Miller on set.
I didn't know that. That's pretty
cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up.
Hey guys, I believe that Daredevil has probably one of the best fight choreography I've ever seen. I'm a martial artist, and the fight choreography is excellent. So I would like to know you guys, your martial arts training and training schedule. How did that go? And working with the stunt team, my friend was on the Daredevil stunt team. So I was just wondering how your training, how you guys trained, and what happened, and your experience of it.
I had about 6 months of Taekwondo training when I was 10 years old with an ex-Vietnam vet named Mr. Bud, who shouted a lot and would periodically slip into fugue states. So I'd like to think I carry that knowledge with me. Literally beyond that, I don't really have any formal fight training. But again, the stunt teams who work on these shows are just extraordinary, and they do an incredible job, not only themselves obviously as stunt performers, but also at training bums like Charlie and me to fake it pretty well.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next question. Thank you. Or did you want to answer that one?
Nope.
Okay, great. Hello, Gambit. Is that Gambit? Yeah. Okay, go for it, Gambit.
Hi, I'm Ben, and I just want to know if Matt Murdock survived the blip. Was he dusted, or did he go through the full 5 years?
I can't answer that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gambit. Thank you. Last but not least.
Love Daredevil. You guys did a great job and still doing it. Any takeaways, Charlie, from playing a blind superhero and what you've learned from that?
That has been one of the amazing byproducts of getting this job as an actor. I just auditioned for the job, I got the job, and I was very grateful for it and continue to be. One of the wonderful things that's come from this job is my association with the visually impaired community. I feel very humbled when I hear from people who have visual impairment or any disability actually tell me that this show and this character has been important to them and helped them overcome some of the adversity in their life because of their respective disabilities, etc. So that's something that we always took very, very seriously, and it's obviously it's of immense importance that we got that right, and I hope we have. I believe we have. Yeah, it's really, really cool, you know. And actually, only a couple of weeks ago, I was visiting a visually impaired school in New York, and it's very moving. It's very touching to meet with these kids who care so deeply about the character because they have that extra connection towards it. Thank you.
Thank you. For the fan questions, can we have a round of applause, please? Thank you. Now, please stay seated. Because we're going to give out some free things. Do you like free stuff? Now, we're going to ask Charlie.
You do people first. That's
Sorry?
the law. You do people first before disabilities. So it's people first before disabilities.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to do a swag throw. You guys ready to throw things into the audience? Now, I said this earlier, Andy Serkis was very strong. Gollum has a good throw. So let's see if you
You're
can...
talking to a guy who kills people by throwing things at them.
Haley, you can't throw cards in a bucket. That's what I've heard, Wilson. That's what I've heard. But before we do the swag throw, we've got Victor here. You want to do a quick announcement, Victor? Yes.
Hello, everybody. If you have any remaining autographs to get done by these two gentlemen right here, there's still some time after this panel is over. So head over there right away as soon as you can so we can get them out. And thank you guys for having a great show. You guys are awesome.